Hey guys, Crypto here from Cryptogasmic.com and Cryptocurrency Investing Facebook group. It's the 24th of May. We're really at a crossroads now of whether Bitcoin's going to continue on or whether it's going to fall. Depending on who you ask, everybody's got a different opinion. So tonight, late night here with Crypto and Cryptocurrency Investing Facebook group, I want to spend the hour discussing my thoughts on Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe EOS, some of the bigger coins, but mainly about Bitcoin as it does control the market. And tonight also I want to spend a little bit of time teaching you about Elliot Waves, which is the way that I trade, and it's a very important tool to learn to help you so you don't trade with any emotions. So here we are, let's get into it, and let's start for tonight. Alrighty guys, so here we are, wherever you are around the world. It's 9:30 at night where I am, so it's late night with Crypto on Cryptocurrency Investing Facebook. And as I said, I want to spend tonight looking at Bitcoin. And I want you guys to join in on the conversation. Let me know your thoughts, where you are. And we're going to discuss it, whether we should get in, whether we should wait. Some different strategies on how to play it, long term, short term, and all that sort of stuff. So let's get into it right now and have a look. So I'm going to pull up the chart for Bitcoin. All right, let me just clean it up. So I always suggest when you're doing your charts that you try and start with a clean chart wherever you can. And don't forget, guys, I've got the chats down here so I can see your comments. If you've got any questions regarding technical analysis, if you're just a beginner, please bring it on. The more people that learn, the more people that succeed at crypto, the more people that spread the word of crypto, which is really what we're all about, right? So let's have a look at Bitcoin. I'd love to hear your opinion. If you disagree with me, great. It's a free market. I love to hear other people's opinions. So yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, so I've been playing Bitcoin the same way for quite a few months now. So whenever I look at Bitcoin, I always start on the bigger picture, on the daily, on the way on the bigger picture, and I usually look at the logarithmic. Hey Jake, how are you, man? It's been a long time, brother. Did you win the election? Let me know. Let me know. It's great to have you here. Litecoin we can have a look at as well. But you don't need my help, Jake. You're a bit of a pro. You know what you're doing, bro. You know what you're doing. Hey, Jesse. How you doing? Lovely to have you here, man. Lovely to have you. Sit back, guys. Grab a coffee, whether you're at work. Is that yeah, as in you won the election? Or yeah, as in you're an expert? I don't know. I don't know. Alrighty, so I also got my Mexican permanent residence today. Ole! So I'm pretty happy. I've become a Mexican today. It's pretty funny, pretty cool. So we're going to start with Bitcoin, right? Because this is where I want to talk about Bitcoin, and then I'm going to talk about alts as a whole. And I'm also going to give a little 15-minute lesson on Elliot Waves. So if you're new to technical analysis and you're not really sure about it, tune in towards the end, and I'm gonna teach you a method called Elliot Waves, which is really important. Right, so Kip has written here, I was looking at BTC daily trend line around 7.5, and it has hit it 5 times in the past. Just bounce off it, wonder where we go from here. Kip, that's a very good point. So let's look at the big picture of where we are, guys. Now, I've been saying since February, right, that we can easily go down, retouch $3,000 again. Now, I want you to think about Bitcoin in a different light. Everybody's talking about when is this dip going to end, but I prefer to look at 2017. We had such an expansive rise that, it was probably overvalued and people were paying too much. So it's a correction, and it's probably coming down back into the price where it should be. And I've been saying since February that it's very, very likely we're probably going to touch at least 6,000 again, possibly 5,000 again. I think personally 5,000 is as low as we will probably go. Thanks, Kip, appreciate it. I think 5,000-ish will be as low as we go, which I'll explain a few reasons on that later. But guys, you've really got to understand how markets work, okay? You know, things just don't keep going to the moon, and a market's job is it washes people out. So all we're doing now is we're washing out people who entered the market late, who chased, and it never ceases to amaze me how people won't buy anything at the bottom when they're panicking, but as soon as it starts running again, they can't wait. You know, you can see these big green candles here. So instead of looking at it as green and red, look at it as in FOMO and panic. Look at the green, the green, the green, the green, the green, and then as it falls, look at the red, the red, the red. There's people just bailing out, right? People bailing out at the wrong times. Now, we had if I take it off the logarithmic for a second, right, you can see the emotional cycle playing out. Now, for those of you who don't know the emotional cycle, right, I'm going to pull it up there, okay? Now, this cycle repeats itself over and over and over, and it doesn't matter whether it's gold, commodities, and I'm going to keep going on about this, guys, right? And whether you want to take this on board or not is up to you, but I'm telling you, it's some of the most important information you'll ever learn in your crypto trading life. Whether you're a long-term holder or not, this is one of the most important bits of information. You can easily get this diagram on the internet, Wall Street cheat sheet, psychology of a market cycle, and no matter what coin we look at, we went through this a couple of days ago in a lesson that we gave here. So looking at this cycle here, right, you know, we went through the whole range, and if we even zoom in, right, more, where it looked like there was nothing, all of a sudden the cycles start appearing, right? Look, okay? So in the future, I got no doubt that what we're looking at now is going to look like that back there. So this is where we are now, all right? Now, guys, there's only ever two sides to a trade, right? There's really only ever two sides to a trade, okay? So you decide on whether you want to be on this side of the trade, which is the optimism, belief, the thrill, the euphoria, or do you want to be on the complacency, panic, denial, depression side of the trade? You know, so all this is doing is washing out these people who chased all of this, right? Oh, right, yeah, sorry, you're looking at the cheat sheet. Sorry about that. Yes, you're right. Sorry. So now that's the emotional cycle, right? So let me go back. Sorry, guys. Crypto I know about, broadcasting TV I'm not so good about. All right, so let's go back to that. I need somebody to come here and help me with this. There we go. Right, okay. So I'll just repeat that. There's the emotional cycle after you've just looked at that emotional cycle. And now back here, it looks like nothing, right? If we really zoom in on that now, right? All of a sudden, what was nothing, these emotional cycles starting to appear. Look, aren't they? You can see where the hope kicks in, and then it's optimism, and then it's belief, and then it's euphoria, and then it panics. So this repeats itself, guys, over and over and over again, okay? So the big problem that we've got right now in Bitcoin, thank you, Jake. You're a savior. Jake actually helped me out a couple of months ago. You know, I had I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 Bitcoins sitting in an old bread wallet ages ago. And I forgot about them, that I transferred them out. And he got me to check, and then all of a sudden, bang, there was a bunch of Bitcoin cash. It was a few $1,000, so thank you. So, you know, people will write things like buy, okay, but give us your reason why. There's got to be a reason why you think buy. You know, I kind of think buy, but I'm going to explain my strategy shortly, because we've played it really cautiously and really well. So you can see that we've had the emotional cycle there. And as soon as we broke down through the green Ichimoku cloud on the daily, now the Ichimoku cloud is a great indicator because it helps with support and resistance, it helps with trend, and it's also an indicator that is used to kind of predict the future. Okay, so as you can see, we were support all through 2017, and as soon as we broke through, support becomes resistance, as does the red EMA. So it's resistance, and we're fighting resistance the whole way. So we're now at a point where we finally broke into the red cloud. We finally broke above the EMAs, but we've fallen down again. So this is where we have to be really, really cool. Are your Ichimoku settings default? No, Kip, they're not. 20, 60, 120, 30. And the reason for that is that cryptocurrency is a 24-hour-a-day market, okay? Whereas the default settings are for Forex, for tradings that work from 9 to 5 days a week. So if you just change that to 20, 60, 120, 30, they're more relevant to cryptocurrency. So everybody started getting excited even when we had this first run, and now in my group, Cryptogasmic, we picked this bounce perfectly actually in our signals group, and we got out at 11,000. Simply using support and resistance lines, and if we were going to break through, this was the point, the easiest point to break through in the cloud, but it broke down there. So this is just a massive correction really, and if we look at it, the cycle, even from, let's look at it from this run here last year, where it really took off, sort of here. Where even from here, right, where it really had the expansive run, okay? Now, we've bounced there off of the 78.6 fib line, all right? However, if we go back to the whole cycle, an 88% retrace is not outside of the realms of an acceptable retrace on a complete emotional cycle, guys. You've got to understand that. You're seeing it with EOS now. People can't wait to run out. And I remember with EOS just last week, I was screaming at my group to buy it under $5. And then when it hit $17, everybody was like, or $20, I'm going to wait for the dip and I'm going to buy it at 17. I can't wait to buy it at 17. So they were happy to buy it at 17, but not at 5 when nobody wanted it. And that's a bad thing, but that's what makes it so easy to make money out of cryptocurrency. And you can build a living and a lifestyle out of cryptocurrency if you know what you're doing. All right. So even based on this fib line, which is from this impulsive run, which is only July, right? I mean, July last year we were 1,900 a coin, guys. What would you do? Let me know in the comments. What if Bitcoin overnight fell to $2,000? What would you do? Would you panic sell everything, or would you sell the house and buy? What would you do if Bitcoin, you woke up tomorrow and Bitcoin was $2,000? Would you be scared? Would you panic? Would you sell the house? What would you do? Assumptions on the market font work as far as I'm concerned. It's a long-term hold. Yeah, okay, cool. Of course, of course. My problem with long-term holding only, those of you who have been listening to me for a while now know that I have a strategy of buying at the lowest entry I can, taking profits, storing some coin aside, stocking the coin, taking profits, living my lifestyle with it, cashing out a little bit coin every month, making more the next month, and just grinding away like that. Jake would sell his kids and buy Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, look, if Bitcoin was $2,000 tomorrow, I would sell my properties. Yeah, I got no doubt. I'm all in. So let's get to it. So right now we really are at a point of do or die, and we've kind of been playing this now for a few weeks now. We got back into Bitcoin out here. Now, once we hit this double bottom here, I got our group back into Bitcoin here, and what we did was we played the 5 waves inside of a big cycle because the money's just not coming back in, guys. The money's just not coming back in. So whereas before I would let these big cycles play out over 6, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, now I'm being a little bit more conservative and I'm playing the waves inside the waves, right? So you can see a very clear 5 wave set here that run within the scheme of Elliot waves. Even if it's like that. Okay? So that was my method going into this trade because I wanted to make a wage this month, and that's how I did it. And I used these points, and our get out point was 9,500. We took our profit at 9.5. We got in here at 6.8. We took some profit at 8.5, just in here on that blue EMA, and we took the rest of our profit at 9.5 and we got out the market. So that was a perfect trade. It made us a really good wage just for that month. And people have been asking me where to get back in, and I have been very, very resilient on telling people that I'm not getting back in until I see what really happens here, because I don't know whether we've seen I mean, do you think, I mean, in February, everybody thought down here was the capitulation, the panic, you know, if we go back to the emotional, the denial, the panic, the anger, everybody thought that was the what we had in February. But I really wasn't sure. It wasn't a deep enough retracement. You know, so we've got to be really careful here. Are we genuinely, let me get rid of that. Are we genuinely starting these new 5 waves that are going to get us out of the red daily cloud? Or are we just in fact still on the completing stages of this emotional cycle, which would take us down to 5,000, 4,000. You know, have we experienced capitulation yet? Have we? See, I don't know. I don't know. And so I'm using technical analysis and understanding the market where I am to try and make money on these runs. Now, I sent out a message the other day. Now, the reason I say we're at a do or die, there's a couple of points that I want you all to look at. Okay? So if we take the trend from here up through here, right, from here through here, you can see we've bounced right off of this trend line, right? So I knew that we'd get a little bounce out of here, so I did place some buys here. But what I've been advising people is there's no need to drop your whole load at one time, guys, right? If you've got $1,000 to buy on Bitcoin, you don't have to go and buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin here. You can buy $300 worth, right? This is why you've got to have a strategy, okay? Now, I'm still considering this run here as an Elliot wave. So I always look at the up and I look at the down. I don't really take into consideration the news, and I can see Jake's mentioned there about the futures contract, which we'll get into in a minute. All of that, yeah, it is relevant, but it kind of affects dips that day. I'm more of a bigger picture kind of guy, you know. Well, I'm more of a bigger guy all around, really, but you know, I'm a bigger picture guy, really. So I don't trade news. I trade resistance levels. I trade what other traders are probably looking at, you know. And even if you're one of those people that says, oh, technical analysis sucks and blah, 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 trend lines, guys. Trend lines, trend lines, trend lines. If nothing else, trends. Just to see where your support and resistance is, okay? So the fact that we've broken down again out of the red daily cloud doesn't fill me with confidence. The fact that we've again crossed over, made another death cross on this, and our EMAs are now gone from support, and they fell straight through. It didn't even stop. Look, right? Complete resistance now. Okay, so from a trading point of view, I advise buying some Bitcoin right here on this trend line at 7.4. I do think we'll get a bounce from here into here. All right. You know, for a 10-15% gain, which is great. That's what I'm hoping for. I've got very tight stop losses on here, so that comes down, stops out. If I can get in again, but I'm putting in little bits, and if it drops down, the next level I'm going to be looking at is going to be this bottom here that has had a lot of. This seems to be the point, you know, this 6.5. If we break down through there, a lot of people are talking about 7.4 and stuff like that. If we break down through this trend line, I really do think we're going to see this, and at some point we're probably going to hit this downward trend that we broke, and that would be huge. Right, because as you can see, the downward trend from December was resistance, resistance, 3 points. So that's a very, very strong trend. So breaking through that got everybody's shit going again, right? It got everybody excited again. And then we broke through the red cloud. And this is the way you got to look at the markets, guys, right? And if you don't look at like this, you're going to drive yourself crazy. They ebb and they flow up and down, whether it's bear or bull. Even on the way up, it didn't shoot to 20 grand. I mean, the FOMO kicks in and it goes, and that's the time when you start to sell. But I really, right now, I don't know. I'm not sure. And any analyst tells you, I read one of these signal groups the other day that went, Bitcoin will be $12,000 on June the 3rd. What a load of bollocks, man. What a load of absolute bollocks bullshit. And if you guys are in any of those groups where people tell you that, avoid them, man. Because nobody can tell you that shit. Our VIP has opened the whale. We have access to the whale. The whale has opened their books. Okay. You know, don't fall for any of that crap, guys. Learn this stuff yourself and understand how the markets win. Guys, give yourself the edge, you know. So right now, that's the play that I've got. Now, I've still mapped out my Elliot Wave here to get us back up to 15 grand. Now, it could make a little run up here and run back down, which would just wash my 2 point. My Elliott Wave analysis is not off until we break through there. Once that happens, all bets are off. All right. So we've bounced right off of that point there. Let me put another fib on that. So that's 7.3. These are the lines for support and resistance we're looking at, all right? And then our last line of defense is there. So I really do think we're going to see 6.5 again. I really do. So I'm playing these runs now for some profit. I get out, and I don't take all of the coin. I accumulate, right? Part of the game is accumulation, guys. It can't just be, I'm down, I'm here. It's got to be an accumulation thing, you know? And we're accumulating and accumulating and accumulating, right? So I really do think we're going to see 6.5 again, right? I've personally just transferred another wedge of cash across to the exchange, and I'm waiting. And I'm slowly going to accumulate as we go down, so I don't FOMO the run. I'm more than happy to buy panic, guys, right? And if it's the second thing I can teach you is buy the panic and sell the greed. I tell you, man, if we get up to here, this 16 grand on this run, people can have it. Even if it runs up to 30, it will come down again, and I will buy the panic again, right? So you want when these big red dildo candles, you want to start buying these. But it doesn't mean you've got to run out and shop your whole load on that, right? So I would expect this to bounce to 8.5. And if that does what I hope that it does, that's my monthly wage. Boom, done, right? As well as a couple of other little things, because I can see a little bit of green on there, which we'll go through in a sec. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin right now. Now, one of our other technical analyst specialists in the Cryptogasmic group, Christopher Ness, he's more he knows a lot about the mining side of things. I'm not really the techie kind of guy. Now, he was explaining to the group that basically $5,000 is the break-even level for a lot of miners. So he seems to think that there's no way it will fall below $5,000 because it just won't be profitable anymore. And you know, the miners and the mining companies, they spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on equipment. So there are cheaper places in the world, like Venezuela, where it's $700, China $4,000, but $5,000 seems to be that level of no return and where the profits start to disappear. So this is exciting, but I'm also accumulating some in case I get it wrong and we go. But I do think. So there you go. So I've got my map planned out. So I'm accumulating some Bitcoin here if we take off, and I'm prepared to buy some down and more and more as we go down, right? And average down. Even if we do fall to 5, I'll end up with an average of 6.5 on this run. You know, I made so much money as did a lot of people on this run up here. Unfortunately, I sold at 9,500. I missed the whole thrill part, but hey, you know, I didn't chase. Not once did I chase, and I got back in here. So I'm pretty happy with the way I'm playing Bitcoin. Kip. 5K is the breaking even point for mining. I was in Texas and pitched a $75 million project to 2 rounds of investors. That is exactly, exactly. I personally don't know a hell of a lot about that, but that's the inside information that I've got, is that $5,000 is the line. So, you know, is it possible from a technical analysis point of view that we'll see 3,000? Of course it is, right? Bitcoin was 1,800 just back in, you know, even if it's at $3,000, it's still up 100% in 1 year, right? So you got to remember that, guys. People keep telling me, you know, yeah, but it was 20 grand in December. Yeah, but it was $1,000 this time last year. Probably not even that. I mean, how much was it this time last year? May last year. Yeah, 1,200 here, right? And I remember back then, right, sending money across to the exchange, praying that I could get some of my money in under $1,000. And I was really pissed off when it got to here, 1,213, and the money didn't clear properly. It's crazy how, and that's just within 1 year, guys, you know? So that's what I think. So if you're a long-term investor looking to just buy Bitcoin one time and hold it, I think you can wait. And don't FOMO just because you see it go to 8.5, right? Honestly, guys, things like Ichimoku Cloud, trend lines, EMAs, they work. If this does bounce, it'll find some resistance in here somewhere. It will, you know? And that's why you've got to learn to take some profit. In the private classes that I do, one of the biggest mistakes that I see is people don't know when to take profit. They just think that if they take the profit. I was talking to a guy today in our group, and we have a TRX trade on at the moment, and we're up about 30% on the TRX trade. We got in at a really good price, right? And he messaged me today. He sent me a private message today. So we got in here, and we're currently here. Our targets are here. So we're having a really good trade on this at the moment, right? We're up 25% in 2 weeks, okay? But he messaged me, and he was saying, I'm down on this coin and this one and this one, and I'm only up 9% on TRX. I'm like, how can you only be up 9% on TRX? So he gets up a little bit, takes his profit, and then buys back in, and then it goes and he sells. So I don't understand that. And people really have problems with, and the reason he buys back in, or people buy back in, is they see it go back up, so they chase it, and they're scared they're going to miss out, and it's going to keep going. FOMO, right? Don't FOMO, guys, because this pattern repeats itself over and over and over and over again. 2 weeks ago on Bitcoin, we all thought it was going to the moon again, right? Back here in April. Look at all the green candles, chasing, 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 chasing. And then falling, 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 falling. Why is my computer screen freezing? Let me just refresh that. So, you know, don't do the same as everybody else. Do the opposite, right? And, you know, I don't really like Warren Buffett very much. He's a great investor, but he always says trading is just the impatient passing their money over to the patient. And that's what it is. So that's how I'm going to continue to play. And you can see we're playing the small wave set inside the big wave set. So we've got the whole fifth wave here planned out. And I love it, man. This shit is just so beautiful. Turns me on, man. This is like, look at the way that's played out perfectly. That Elliot wave. And the way it has hit the target zones. Absolutely spot on. Look at that. Boom. Retracement. Bang. Don't know why I got my targets there. Oh, that's why. Yeah. So, but then I realized, you know, that the market may not be playing out these big swings. So to ensure I got some profit, I saw that a lot of these are playing waves inside of waves. And they're playing it perfectly, right? So, you know, I'm going to have one take profit zone here and another here. If that breaks down back between that yellow line, I get out and I take my profit there. All right? Okay, Alex Rodriguez. Hey, Alex, how you doing, man? With regards to taking profits, where do you place profits? Fiat or another coin? One of the keys, Alex, is to... one of the keys is to try to understand where the market is at the time. So obviously right now, probably the best place to keep your profit is in fiat. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is they will buy, let's say, Litecoin and Bitcoin, but then they'll follow the US dollar trade, right? So my strategy is very, very simple. If I go back to the screen, okay, and this is what I teach my students, okay, to map it out. We always buy on wave 2. We always take some profit on wave 3. Okay, because we expect a retrace to come. Now, at this point, let's say I buy 1,000 Tron. Okay, so my 1,000 Tron is now worth 126 more. So, you know, now I've got whatever it was in Bitcoin value, I've now got double, right? Or if I bought $1,000 worth of Tron, my Tron is now worth $2,000. Okay, so let's just say I got 1,000 Tron. I will sell 500 Tron at this point, and I'll put it back in whatever currency I bought it in. Bitcoin, US dollar. I don't trade in Tether because I don't have to. I'm on Bitfinex, which is really cool, and I do US dollar trades. But I personally don't have any problem with holding small amounts of Tether at the moment. But I don't have to, so I don't. So I'm not really going to get into the Tether thing. And then we look for the retrace, okay? Because what we're trying to achieve is to trade without any emotions. So I buy here, and I set my map out, and, you know, my original target was probably somewhere like here, according to my fib. You know, I would have done my original fib, something like this, and I probably would have had a take profit zone of about here somewhere, right? So I probably would have taken some of the money off the table there, and the way you've got to cut your losses short, you've also got to let your winners ride. That's why I take 50%. So let's say I got 1,000 Tron, I would have taken 500 off there, kept this, maybe taken some more off there, and then what I'm looking to do is make a decision as we retrace. If we can find some support before we break the top of wave 1, then I will either just hold my position for the 5th target, or I will improve it. So I'll take some of that 500 profit and maybe put 300 back in. Okay? But I'll always take my profit. And then when I get to my 5th wave target, I'll use, depending on the coin, if it's a bigger coin like Neo or Litecoin or Ethereum, I'll usually take 80% profit and I'll keep 20% of the spot coin to the side. So what I'm really doing now is I'm increasing my Bitcoin value. I'm increasing my US dollar value so I can make a living and live my life without having to work for anybody. And I'm also stacking my Dash, Burst, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash. You know, I'm stacking bits as we go. And this is the strategy you got to have, guys. A lot of people make the mistake that crypto is a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not. It's a get-rich scheme, but it's not get-rich-quick, right? It's really, really not, guys, okay? You've got to graft at it. You've got to learn. If it's really that easy, 90% of the people would win instead of lose. But the reality, cold hard fact, is that 90% of people lose at this. And they lose because of the same things. All these big red candles, look, you know, we buy it down here when it's red and nobody wants it. And red when it's falling. And then when it goes, everybody chases it, and that's when we want to sell it. And then in red, 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 big red dildos, panic, panic, panic. But we understand Elliot Waves, so we know that we're going to hold support somewhere. Right? Steve-O. I am a little confused. Well, yeah, I've known you a long time, Steve-O, and yes, you are a little... No, I love you, mate. Love you a lot, mate, and miss you too, dude. I would do anything to have another game of golf with you, man, to be honest. I am on Bittrex with a zero balance. Since you can only trade on coins you hold, would you advise to transfer my coins from Trezor Kraken to Bittrex? I don't understand what that means, mate. You can only trade on coins you hold. That's not true. Basically, on Bittrex, you want to just do Bitcoin trades, mate. You know, and you can trade any coin on there. You can buy any coin on that. So if I was you, I would transfer a bit of Bitcoin over there, and leave it there and on the exchange. I know you can't deposit USD, mate. So just transfer some Bitcoin across there and just use it as a platform to do some alt trades with Bitcoin. That's what it's there for. All right. So that's basically it. Now, alts as a whole, guys, right? So this is what I meant by it's kind of do or die time. A lot of the alts are making the same patterns like they always do, right? No matter what coin we look at, we see the same emotional cycle coming out of the big emotional cycle. We're playing 5 waves in the small, and this is why this shit is so easy, man. Like, you know, even in downtrends, I mean, we had a really big trade with ADA here. We made 100%. I think we made like 600% on 3 coins. You know, and we've got a couple of trades running at a paper loss right now. You know, because they all did the same thing. There's red, but all they really did, okay, is wash down to another level. Okay, so this is what I meant by understanding what side of the trade that we're on. So I can pick any coin and use any coin as an example. All right. So we got a little bit of support here, so we thought this was the buy area, and then we dropped down, and we washed out. And look at this, right? ADA. Bounced right off the trend line, guys. So don't tell me that TA doesn't work, right? This is a trend line running, and the more data you have, the better information you get. So this is a trend line running back right from December, okay? And it's gone way above the trend. It's come way back down, and that trend is really, 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 really a support line, isn't it? It's obvious. There's no denying it. There's no denying that this is a support line. So again, we've bounced off it. Now, so this was a good place to enter, and you could have basically entered nearly any alt. And I sent a message out to the group on the weekend, and I said, guys, be ready. I think this is going to be a big, big week in alts to make some money. Now, don't misinterpret that as far as, well, the alts are back, because I'm not saying that, right? Because I'm going to go on it to you guys, and on and on and on. Take profit when it's there, according to your Elliot Wave map, right? So now we've got this wedge that we're playing in, which is a longer term trend line, and it was a shorter term trend line that I had running up through here, which we fell through. So this trend line's also going to run into the EMA just here. Let me have a look at the daily EMA. Yeah. So again, I would expect a little bounce into here. Okay. Now, what is going to, I think in the next week, 10 days, 2 weeks, we're really going to find out where we're at. Because this can't go on forever. We're either going to continue to bounce off this line and keep making our way up, or we're going to go up, we might come down again, we might come like this, and then eventually break through. And once we break through that trend line, I think we'll fall pretty hard, right? And then we're going to be watching the levels and you know, and looking to see where we wash out again. And it's the same thing in all alts. So guys, don't FOMO right now. Just because you see the alts having a run, don't be one of those people that chases the candles. Okay, don't do it. If you open a new account on Bitfinex, you must have a minimum of 10,000 to trade. Yeah, correct. Yeah. If you want to, that's correct. Yeah, Bitfinex is one of my favorite. I love trading on Bitfinex. And you know, there was so much FUD last year about Bitfinex, and I mean, even I got caught up because I had a lot of money on Bitfinex, and I was like, oh shit, they're going to close down and the tether. And then I remember there was a couple of days when like they went offline, and I was like, oh shit, man, I must have had like 100 grand or something on there, and I was like, oh shit, I'm going to lose this. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But they're still there, and I mean, I got it out of there onto the old Trezor. Guys, if you're trading and you're just new, get one of these things, or a Ledger Nano. Let me know in the box as well, guys. I mean, guys, our job as well is to not tell new people to crypto to go and do your own research. Our job is to help them, right? And then as they learn, they're going to help new people. So for me, I love the Trezor. I'm going to buy a Nano. One question I'd really like to ask you guys out there, because I don't know. I'm looking at the Ledger Nano Blue just because it looks cool and it's bigger. And so if anybody that's got a Ledger Nano, is there any, and you've got a Nano Blue, is it worth spending the extra money getting the Nano Blue? Is there another wallet out there that maybe we don't know about? But I'm really happy with my Trezor. I feel comfortable and confident now that I've got most of my money off the exchanges onto there. Let me know. Let me know. And guys, if any of you, hey Catherine, lovely to have you. Lovely to have a beautiful lady amongst these sea of blokes. We need more women in crypto. And every altcoin is kind of doing the same thing. Look, it doesn't matter. So they've all played out 5 waves. And they're just washing down. We thought the buy zone was here. It's just washed down to the next level. So whether it continues to do that or not, that is the question. All right. So use these runs to make your money, guys. You know, people want to argue with me all the time about I will just hodl. Okay, no problem. I also hodl. Right? And look, right. I mean, if I probably get that trend line right. Okay, so that trend line's a little bit of resistance. So that's, now you can see that's resistance on that one. It's so important to do these trend lines, guys, if nothing else. Really it is. Yeah, correct, Steve. Yeah, buy from the source. Don't buy from eBay or Amazon or anything like that. So I really do think right now, over the next week, I mean, I plan on making my next 1 or 2 months wage out of the next week. And I still just think that if we look at the bigger coins, right? And I focus more on these, and I see you guys in the group, and you're all, talking about coins I've never even heard of, and that's great, But I will just use a very minimal amount on these, right? Most of my money's in the big ones. And I just noticed Dash has slipped out of the top 10. When did that happen? IOTA's come into the... IOTA's a big one that I threw at the group about a week or 2 ago. Cardano, And I will trade these waves. And the thing I love, right, about crypto is you can hodl and make money at the same time, right? Now, if you're a long-term holder, right, let's be realistic, all right? You probably didn't buy it at the optimum price. Let's just use this coin as a reference. Let's just say you bought here, in here. Your money's gone up. You've come back to break even. You're down a bit. You don't know what to do. All of a sudden, you start double guessing your trade. It's human nature. And then it goes up to the moon again. You think you're a legend, and then it just goes red, and you're at break even again. And then it goes up, and you're at break even, and now you're down. And then you're up, and now you're down. And now your break even is the resistance level, and it's driving you mental. And by the time you get down here, if you've managed to hold, which most people wouldn't, they would usually sell and go, shit, I don't want to lose any more money. And again, guys, if you've got any stories like that, let us know, you know, so the new people can learn. And there's nothing to be embarrassed. I did it all the time when I started, so many times. And then when I look back and I'm like, it's so obvious, I just was buying on the wrong side of the trade. I was buying these little fake runs up on the wrong side of the trade. So is this really the beginning of a new cycle? Or is this just a continuation of the bear cycle? We really, really are at that crossroads now, guys. All right. Let's have a quick look at EOS. I told you guys 2 weeks ago as well, don't run out and buy top dollar. Wait for it to come down and hit $10 again, right? So this is what I mean. It doesn't matter the coin. It doesn't matter the news. It will repeat these cycles over and over. So why not make some money and get some financial freedom through the waves and also hodl some coin at the same time? Why not? Now, EOS is great because it's smashed through its all-time high. And I'm accumulating EOS. I was accumulating it back down here. And this is the amazing thing. I was screaming at my group to buy this accumulation. $5.60. All right. Even down here, under $5, but worst case scenario, Elliot Waves, here, right? We had that impulsive run. We let it run. We don't chase it because we know it's going to retrace. And look where it retraced to, right on the 61.8 line. Right on it. Look, right in that zone in there. So you had, I mean, this is a daily. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You had like 2 weeks to get in. But because nobody wants it, you're scared to take it. Right? And look at it bouncing off the blue EMA. So stop telling me TA doesn't work. Look at it accumulating and bouncing along that 200-day exponential moving average. Okay? And now look, it's finding resistance right on the 50-day. Resistance. And you're looking for it to resist or break through these points. Okay? So we made shitloads on EOS and sold some out here, stored some aside, and, you know, now just waiting for the new cycle to play out. And when you learn the technical analysis, guys, it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. All right? Right there. Okay? So is this a new one? Probably meet resistance in that downtrend, which it did, which also means I'm always looking for several factors to make my decisions, not just one or two, guys, right? And you can see, look, there's a fib line, a downward trend. Let me turn the cloud on. The 12-hour bottom of the cloud is right there. So that would be a great place maybe to go short a little bit, right, on that. And then we wait and we see if we get a new set of 5 waves. This will retrace somewhere. So what we do is we wait. I'm expecting it to find a resistance in here. And then we're going to wait for this retracement. If it holds, it might do something like that to get us out of the green cloud. So I'll be looking to buy it around here on this little retracement now. Accumulate, accumulate, accumulate. Right? Once we get up to here, I'll sell a little, and then I'll also map out the bigger scheme, right? because that's all this is. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we just play the waves, and we use it as a guide. So if it falls out of that zone, boom, we get out. No emotion, right? Hey, Catherine, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Catherine, meet Steve-O. Steve-O, meet Catherine. This is Cryptogasmic dating. No, I'm only joking, guys. Catherine, laughing. Strong arms. Let me know where you're all from, guys, as well. Love to know where you're all from. So that's basically where we're at, guys. So I think it's a good time to accumulate some alts. Everybody else is probably telling you not to. Litecoin's a funny one. We made money on this run up to 180. I did really well on this run of Litecoin, but I also screwed up a little bit. I got carried away. I also make the same kind of mistakes, right? I nailed this one perfectly. And in my signals for Litecoin, I had 180 as the sell target. But then I got carried away and everybody was talking about everything's going to the moon. And this is why I've got to pull back from Facebook sometimes and pull back from the Cryptogasmic group. And guys, if you want to join our community chat group, the link is at the top for Telegram. Or you can find us on Facebook. And I'm always here on Cryptocurrency Investing Facebook. Just a little side note, we were supposed to have a great interview with Jeff Berwick, the Dollar Vigilante, on Tuesday. We couldn't get our shit together with the audio. Well, I couldn't get my shit together. We've now sorted that out. We did reschedule for tomorrow, but Jeff's been called away on an emergency. So Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time, we're going to have an hour or two live stream with Jeff Berwick, the Dollar Vigilante. We're going to be talking about cryptocurrency, blockchain, the corruption of banks, the corruption of government, why it's so important. And also, we're going to be giving away 2 passes for the 3-day or 4-day conference, Acapulco, which was amazing. I was there last year, and it's 3 or 4 days of crypto, freedom, anarchy. It's just amazing. So make sure you tune in on Tuesday, guys, at 2 o'clock Central Time. We're going to be giving away 2 of those, and I'm also going to give away two free lifetime VIP lifetime passes to cryptogasmic.com. So join in. All right. Yes, Catherine, I know you did. Thank you. So Litecoin's a funny one. Yeah. So anyway, I took some profit here, but I ended up setting an extended target at 220. So I'm kind of left holding a little bit now. Now, here's a perfect example of 100% retracement. Okay, so basically, we're waiting to start again on Litecoin. Now, the good thing is it's broken above that resistance line. So I'm going to let this one wave run, okay, on Litecoin. I'm not going to chase it. And it'll probably meet the resistance there, and then I'll see what happens on the way back down. If it can hold support, we can accumulate some more, average down, and work up. So we're just accumulating and accumulating, but we're not having to put money back in because we're just using profits to accumulate. Litecoin is my dog coin. Dude, I love Litecoin, man. I bought that shit at like $40. Sold it. We bought it again here, 125. We made the run up to 180. Great coin. Just seeing if there's anything else that we really want to look at. See, I had an original buy area there, but all it did was wash down a bit further. Down to the next level. It just washes people out. And now it's found support there. All right. So, and again, if you buy in here, there's no need to panic sell. You don't sell the red candles. You sell the green candles. Even if it's a loss, you're always going to get a better price than selling those red candles. All right. Neo, I sent a signal out earlier today for my VIP group to buy at $50. So that's great. That was a pretty obvious one. Neo under $50 was very obvious. and now we're getting a first wave. We've broken the trend line. So we may get, and this all depends what happens over the next week or two in the market. It might all die off and go back, fall through. But I will not, we got in here. At some point it will retrace and we'll see whether it holds its support. If so, I'll buy some more. You know? Like that. And all that is a new one. And we use those support lines to as a guide for our buy-ins. Does that make sense to everybody? So I just want to spend the last 10 minutes now, every one of these TA shows, and I love doing these. I kind of like doing them late at night. I might call it Late Night with Crypto, maybe, instead of Late Night with David Letterman. Maybe the late night show, and maybe we can start getting some guests in and stuff like that. What do you think, guys? Would you like to see like a nightly show here? You know, and we can get some guests in. We can talk technical analysis. I think it'd be pretty cool. Let me know what you think, if you think that would be worthwhile or not. You can always connect with me on Facebook, guys. Send me a private message. I'm cool. I'm open. You know, we're not one of those groups that has no name, has no face. Even the guys at Cryptocurrency Investing, the moderators are cool. Jeff and the guys are cool. Everybody's easy to we just all have a love and a passion for crypto, basically. But yeah, I kind of like this vibe, really, here. I think I might make this a regular thing rather than an afternoon thing. I might make this a regular nighttime thing. I like it. Some coffee, get a new studio. And let me know what guests you would like us to bring in, guys. And we'll do this. All right, so what I also want to do is try to teach you guys basics of technical analysis each night. So the other night we went through the emotional cycle, okay, how it repeats itself over and over and over again. So tonight I want to run through Elliot Waves with you. Well, you are going to get a black screen for a second. Something's happened here. Let me just add that back in. Sorry, guys. Image. I don't know what happened. It kind of just disappeared. I'm just going to add it back in. Okay. See, so I'm learning to do all of this on the fly, right? So this is an Elliot wave theory, okay? So basically, the way I trade, there's several different ways to trade. Yeah, thanks, Jesse. I'm on here all the time. On my YouTube channel, Cryptogasmic, we upload all the videos on there. We replay the videos on this page. You can join the Telegram group. The link is up the top there. The Telegram link is up the top, so join in. Come and say hello. Really cool group of people we got. So there's a lot of different ways to trade, guys. All right. Some people trade breakouts, you know, where they'll have like certain, you know, for example, like a breakout trader would probably have this trend, and as soon as it breaks out above that, or they'll use cup and handle patterns, or, you know, wedges, and that they'll buy the breakout, right? That's not how I trade. I use a method called Elliot Waves, right? So for me, I wanted a method where I wanted to trade with no emotions. When I first started and I was losing lots of money, I realized, you know, I wanted to learn why. Why did the 10 Bitcoins I start with all of a sudden be 7? When I could have just left it there and made money instead of chasing all these alts all the time. Do you guys ever have that same problem? You know, chasing those alts and it's going down and everybody else seems to be winning. So I went away and studied for a long time. And what I realized is that this market really is an emotional market. So those people out there that say technical analysis doesn't work on cryptocurrency because it's manipulated by whales and blah, blah, blah. Every market is manipulated, right? But I'm telling you now, I know for a fact, 100%, TA works 80% of the time. And it just depends on what you use TA for. If somebody says to you that they use TA to tell you, you know, I'll get people saying to me, all right, crypto, you think you're so awesome. How much is Bitcoin going to be next week? That's not what technical analysis is, right? Technical analysis is about mapping things out and looking things in a logical way without using emotions. People in here, when I was saying, is it buy or sell, they buy, but they don't know why. They don't know why. They're just going to buy it, right? So basically, I understood that the whole cycle moved as an emotional cycle. So I needed to find a way to move my way through that emotional cycle, okay? And that is Elliot Waves. So Elliot realized that all markets move in sine waves of 5. And there's waves within waves within waves within waves. So it's kind of like a religion. It's a rule system that you can stick by to make your trading decisions. So there's no emotion. Don't get emotionally attached to your coins, guys. You can love the projects and all that, but at the end of the day, a white paper is merely an idea. I can write a white paper for decentralizing toilet paper, all right? I don't know how you decentralize toilet paper, but, you know, if anybody, that really would be a shit coin now, wouldn't it? Anyway, boom, boom. So basically, Elliot Waves, okay, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now, at the end of the 5 waves up, we will usually have one of 3 things that will happen. You'll usually get an ABC retracement, and the B is the complacency, and it's the wave that catches a lot of people out. A lot of people who think that it's going to the moon again. We just had a cool off and we're going again, right? And then all of a sudden you're in the wrong side of the trade, okay? And then we got the A, the B, and then the C. The C part is the anxiety, you know, why am I getting called on margins? The dip is taking long. The dip, man, shit, it's taking too long. Denial, no. Litecoin is great. EOS is great. This dip's not going to last much longer. Panic, shit, I've woken up and I'm down again. Everybody's selling, I've got to get out. I started with $1,000, I've only got 300 left. I've got to, oh man, I've got to take my 300 bucks and get the hell out of here. And then it's anger, friggin' whales, US government, blame the Russians, whoever you want to blame. And then it's depression. I can't believe that I promised my wife a new kitchen, and now I don't have the money. I can't believe I used the children's education funds. You know, geez. And then it just starts again, right? And all those people who got burnt, they all just think that, you know, it's a sucker's rally. And you can see it. No matter what coin I pull up, you can see it. Right? Hope, belief, optimism, thrill, euphoria. And look, there's the, there it is. Right? There's the, there it is, right there, look. That's the complacency. And then the C comes in. Now, where that C ends, we don't know. Is this still in the C, or have we actually finished a cycle, and now we're into a new cycle? This is why we have to be cautious right now. And this is why we use things like these. We're not really free until we break this daily cloud, right? And then we, just like this, we're trading above the green cloud again. So Elliot Waves. Now, Elliot Waves have certain rules, okay, to go with them. And this is what keeps us from making emotional decisions, okay? Now, we measure our Elliot Waves with Fibonacci, which is something we'll get into another day. So I just want to explain to you how Elliot Waves works and, you know, understand Elliot Waves, and then go back and practice. Just go back through any chart and measure out the waves, find the waves, okay? So I'm going to start on the daily chart because I like to map out the bigger picture. And then what you're going to find if you come in, you're going to find waves within the waves. And that's how, as traders, you make your money, right? You take your profits, you accumulate, you buy some more, yada, yada, yada. That's what you do, okay? So the simple rules of Elliot Wave is this. There's always an impulsive wave, okay? Always starts with an impulsive wave. I don't usually chase impulsive waves, which is why I'm being a bit cautious now with some of the coins. I'll usually let the wave run, and then it will retrace somewhere, okay? Now, this can only remain an Elliot wave if it doesn't break the bottom of wave 1. If it breaks here, the analysis is off. So we're looking for this to hold a retracement on a support level using Fibonacci, using the cloud, using the trend lines. We're looking for it to stop and find some support, which we use other indicators for, and that's where we buy. Then we get a third wave. The third wave cannot be the shortest wave. It's generally the same length as wave 1 or longer, okay? And that's your perfect first take profit zone, okay? Because it will retrace from there again. It will. So take some profit. Don't think it's all boom to the moon, right? Because it's not, okay? So then we get a wave 4. Wave 4 is very important, okay? Because as according to my strategy, we've taken some profit, but we're still holding some coin, right? Now, wave 4 is not supposed to breach the top of wave 1. I give it a little bit of leniency because of all the big candles, but not much. I will usually switch between the line chart, get rid of some of the noise, but I don't give it much leniency. And then I'll use the cloud and things like that to see if it falls through. So we're looking for it to either hold a position or bounce somewhere between 3 and the top of wave 1. Using fib, it can sometimes be in here, here, or here. Then we look for a 5th wave, which is our ultimate target. Now at this point 4, if it continues, we can buy more, we can hold. If it falls through, we can sell. No emotion, right? None. Take the profit, maximize what we can. Wave 5, there's no real rule, but generally we'll take one of these waves. If we've got a really stupid long-ass wave 3, then in a nice wave 1, I'll take wave 1 and I'll measure it. But sometimes it can go like this, or like this, you know, straight up, or whatever. But you would just adjust it as you go. That's why I always say, guys, never be in more than 2 or 3 trades at a time, because, you know, things move, and this wave could be the same length, but it changes target because it goes all the way out here like this. It goes sideways. It could go straight to the moon, right? So we map out this information, and you know how good it is to kind of predict where things are going to go, but then also have a backup plan if it doesn't. So that's Elliot wave. And then at the end of the 5 waves, it will generally do one of 3 things. It'll do the ABC correction, right? So now if you don't take all your profit here, also don't panic sell this run, because you will get a bounce. You will, guaranteed, right? And this is the run that catches most people out. And this is, how many of you out there, if you look back at the emotional cycle and you ran out and you bought this A to B run thinking that it was off, not really fully understanding that what you're buying is actually on the wrong side of the trade. And now you're stuck in the wrong side of the friggin' trade. And that's where we've been for the last couple of months. Okay. Sometimes it will continue on. But you've got to be very careful with that as well, right? That continuation, I always wait to see where the retrace holds. If it falls back below wave 5, all that means is that this was a long ass wave 5. And then you've still got the ABC retracement to come. Right? Or it'll do 5 waves down. The same Elliot wave up, but down. All right? So that's basically Elliot waves, guys. And it's really great. And then what we do, we'll do Fibonacci next time. But we then use Fibonacci to set those targets within the waves. I think I had it there. Okay. And that's where we set our points. Okay. Of where to take profit. I mean, to be honest with you, that I've probably gone a bit overboard with that one, to be really honest with you. I don't know what I've done there. Hang on, let me have a look. And you know, once you know what you're doing, you can do it very, very quick. To be honest with you, I've probably got the wrong target there on Neo. And I've probably got the wrong target there. Rather be a bit more conservative. So we can get rid of those. And, you know, you can see that we picked up right where it is now, is right on one of those resistance lines. And I need to just change my targets a little. Okay, and it's really that simple. And then we get into other indicators, which I'll go through in some new lessons. But that's basically it, guys. Okay, so basically that's it for me for tonight. So the main things, just to recap on everything, guys, is I still can see us probably going down to 6,000. I still think there's money to be made on these runs. We're bouncing off all of the trend lines right now. Okay, so don't misunderstand that, thinking it's going to go to the moon again. If you miss, don't chase. You are going to get another opportunity to buy your coins at a great price. All right, stay patient. Remember to get out there in the fresh air and just don't make everything about the pursuit of money, guys, because you know, money is not happiness. It's nice to have and things like that, but get outside, sit with your family, watch the birds, play some golf. You know, you don't have to be bogged down in a job that you hate and have this life. There is a life out there where you can, you know, especially with the tools we've got now, working online and international offshore bank accounts and crypto trading and all of that sort of stuff. We have a lot of opportunities to do a lot of good, guys. All right. So love one another, be kind to each other. Anything you've learned in crypto, please pass that information. Just let it go. Don't hoard and don't want to help people. Help everybody, man, because that's the only way that crypto is going to succeed. All right, guys. I love each and every one of you. And until next time, see you again.